Denver teachers have voted to strike. A walkout could happen as soon as Monday, but the state could step in to effectively delay any strike for up to 6 months. A leading software company has been accused of wage discrimination.
Oracle stands accused of underpaying thousands of its women, Black, and Asian employees by more than $400 million. The allegations contained in a lawsuit filed by Labor Department investigators responsible for policing government contractors, including Oracle. The suit cites evidence that Oracle underpaid women and ethnic minorities for similar work done by white men by as much as 25% between 2013 and 2016. No comment from Oracle. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
Pulitzer Prize-winning author and columnist Russell Baker has died at 93. His humor appeared in the New York Times and scores of other papers for decades. Baker was also host for 9 years of Masterpiece Theater on PBS. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
92.7 Nuga Radio.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Chattanooga City Council members addressed the beating of Frederico Wolf at the hands of a Chattanooga police officer. Nuga Radio's Marie Mott was there.
Councilman Gilbert called for sensitivity training, the changing of laws and ordinances, as well as an independent investigation into the particular beating of Mr. Wolf. Councilwoman Coonrod had a difference of opinion and called for the immediate firing of this officer.
TBI announced it's looking for a third suspect in the slaying of Jacob Moore, whose skeletal remains were discovered by hunters in the woods near Benton Mountain, very close to property owned by a relative of a suspect in that case. TBI's Blake Ketron announced they're looking for Willie Boyd on charges of first-degree murder. 2 men were arrested by the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office after a chase through Soddy Daisy. Reports say that the driver tried to evade a traffic stop and tried to escape on foot. 2 suspects arrested. Russell Stroud, Nuga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Getting very wet out there through your evening hours with areas of rain. Some locally heavy overnight tonight. Rain will gradually head on to the east. A little colder by morning with lows near 30. For Thursday, decreasing clouds, breezy, chilly highs into the lower 40s. Even colder Friday, highs upper 30s. More cold is coming, so keep your family toasty warm with Dodge City Ski Shop, featuring the largest selection of cold weather clothing around. From infants to adults, they have it all at Dodge City, East Springer Road, Chattanooga. And I'm Storm Team 12, Chief Meteorologist Patrick 4.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Did you know that mortgage rates are at 9-month lows? Listen up, y'all. Ben Phillips, Home Rate Mortgage, right here in Chattanooga, 805-9100. I'm in the business of saving people money. And if you want to save money, pick that cell phone up right now, 805-9100. Families all over Tennessee are calling Home Rate Mortgage right now with these amazing 9-month low rates and paying off their high-interest credit card debt into one low fixed-rate mortgage payment. And check this out. We just helped a retired court reporter who lives in Ottawa. We paid off her mortgage and $7,000 in credit card debt and saved her family $400 per month while, get this, giving her $10,000 additional cash out for home improvements so that her grandson can live with her. It's easy, and you can do it too. It just takes 10 minutes and this number, 805-9100. And if you're at your desk like me, get a quick quote at homeratemortgage.com.
The Mad Philly Sandwich Shop on Shallowford Road across from Mountain View Service Center presents How to Speak Philadelphian and its Southern translation.
Hey, forget about it.
Hey, don't worry.
Just shut up and eat it.
Now go eat what's on your plate.
Hey, Rose, did you get the shopping cart?
Hey, Rose, get the buggy.
The Mad Philly Sandwich Shop, just off Route 153 on Shallowford Road across from Mountain View Service Center.
It's a good Philly, y'all.
Hey folks, Jeff Stiles here, talk radio host and infamous technophobe. But I got to tell you, this Facebook Live that Nuga Radio does, it makes sense to me. It really does. Now, we're at 92.7 on the FM dial, but really where you need to go is NugaRadio.com and just do the streaming audio, 8 to 10 a.m. The first hour is mostly just me just throwing commentary in on top of the news. The second hour is me frustrating and irritating you beyond all belief. NugaRadio.com. Don't miss it. Every weekday.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Oh man, they got me 2 hours today. I know people are like, oh, I'm so sorry. Loudmouth Mike couldn't make it today. He's got a lot of work to do. That's a busy man. And so I'm appreciative that he decided to share his platform and his time slot with me, because we got something big to talk about. And that is the people, we the people. We the people. Oh, I just played my band twice. So y'all know what it is. So I'm taking it from the streets to City Hall to the mayor's office, and the Mountain Police Department. From the Valley Low to the mountain top, you guys a bird's eye view to what's going on here in the city of Chattanooga. Yes. What's going on? Oh, man. We're talking about it today. A reason that I feel a lot of things are going on. And shout out to Pastor Carruthers, because at the end of 2018, he preached a message about going another way. And I feel that the people, and I said this yesterday, I kind of got caught up, because sometimes, whether people realize it or not, sometimes when I talk, it ain't me talking. I feel that there are things that I say that are divinely inspired. I do. And sometimes, you know, I have an intention to just come on and just say a little bit and get off, and I can't help myself, because I believe that there's things that just need to be said. And so one of the things I said yesterday is that this game that we call politics, that control our very lives, it was really not set up for us to win. Not how they're playing it. But if we go back, and this is why it's important to go back, there's nothing wrong with progressing, but you cannot forget your solid foundations. And so, though not perfect, I'm never going to pretend like the cats who wrote the Declaration of Independence, like some of them weren't slaveholders and everything else. Yes, they were not in some ways the best of men. But I still believe that sometimes even the most imperfect people, right, have good things that they can offer to humanity. And so these men got together, in particular because they were tired of being oppressed by a king, and decided to formulate and institute a constitutional republic to make sure that the people, that means you and I, would always be protected. And so I don't know when the last time you read the Declaration of Independence, but I'm not going to read the entire thing because it's way too long. But there were, you know, we're familiar with the first part, but we're not familiar with the things that we can do as a people when we're tired of the government institutions that we have. And this is important because we, the people, are so tired, and I hope people are listening. So I can call BS on all of their stuff. You know, we, the people, when in the course of human events, let me go ahead and read. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with one another, to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's gods entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the cause which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident. Well, we know that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving or receiving their just powers from the consent, the permission of the governed, you and I. That whenever any form of government, now, keyword, any, not some, not a few, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, what are these ends? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is the right. Oh, I love this language. It is the right. It's not the opinion. I got to make it plain. I got to break it down. It is the right of the people. It is the job of the people It is the right of the people to alter, meaning to change, if it's possible. It says alter first. So we tried to change. How long have we been trying to change this crappy form of government that we've had for the past 100, 150 years? A long time. We've tried to alter it. That is, and the perfect word that I see people use for alter now in the modern age is reform. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it's the right of the people to alter or reform. But I like the latter part, because we've been at the first part of this for a long time. The altering, the reformation. It is the right of the people to abolish it, to destroy it, tear it down, crumble it, demolish. Come on. And to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them, meaning you and I, the people, not to those in power who we want to take our power back from, and say that if we're not doing it right, see this, I got to thank our founding fathers, because this is our receipt, folks. You know, like when you purchase something, you get a receipt. So if you don't like it, it's not working, you can take it back and you can get something better. This is our receipt for this form of government. And so if we don't like what they're doing, we're not powerless. We can try to change it. And we've done that for a long time. We've tried, you know, there have been people outside of government trying to change it. And that's why Martin Luther King caught a bullet in the neck, because he was trying to change this government. That's why Malcolm X. That's why Medgar Evers. That's why thousands and thousands of people. That's why. Laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their happiness and their safety. Who is that? You, me, the people. So if you go a little bit further, the thing that you see in the Declaration of Independence are the crimes really outlining why that they were doing it. And so the Declaration of Independence is why, the Constitution is how. Y'all get that? So the Declaration of Independence really is a document saying, why are we doing this? Why are we forming this government? Why have we decided to come together and institute this type of government that is unique among all of the nations? Why? The Constitution outlines how we are to ensure that that government is supposed to exist, and that we are never supposed to deviate. Because the moment that we start deviating from the simple principles that we shouldn't even have to write in, you know, the crazy thing is that we shouldn't even have had to do this. Never. People should never have to write on paper what we should understand as human beings, that we don't have a right to impose nothing on nobody. We need to mind our own business. Everybody needs to have an equal opportunity. And that's it. Everybody needs to have equal opportunity, and we need to mind our own business and take care of one another and treat one another right. To me, that's a simple living. Come on. So the list of grievances that we have against the king, you'll see that these folks, these people, these men were tired of the tyranny that they were experiencing. Tyranny. Let's look at some of this. All right. The history of the present king of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries. Does that sound like our city council, our mayor, our county commission, our school board, that we're consistently being injured by these folks? All having indirect object, the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, so they felt that they needed to plead their case, because there's always a hater. I'm sure there's always a hater in the crowd that says, why y'all doing this? You know, the king ain't that bad. I hear people say that the mayor is not that bad. You know, he's my friend. The sheriff isn't that bad. I have his number and I've known him for 20 years. But if the people are repeatedly injured, family, that is absolute tyranny. He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained. And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend them. Don't that sound like our mayor? He can't show up. He has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of their public records for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures. Now, there's nobody really compelling our legislative body, which is our city council, to go into secret meetings. They do that within their own selves. But family, that's tyranny. Y'all can go pull this up yourself. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the right of the people. So every time representatives of people decided to be a man and stand up, he opposes them. Doesn't that sound like people in power? Oh, it's not so bad. You know, if the people would just do this, this wouldn't happen to them. Does that sound familiar? Oh, man. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. Come on. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for their tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries. Don't that sound like people? Judges and other folks, they can't do stuff because, you know, people might they may lose their job. If they speak up, they may lose their ability to take care of their family. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out our substances. Doesn't that sound like government? Oh, you can't go here. You got to talk to Sally over here. And when you call Sally, oh, no, this is not the right office. You need to call 423. I'm just going to make up a number. It's 975-5000. You call that number and then you get rerouted to this person over there who is the secretary. And you got to leave a message for the person that you really need to speak to who's never in the office to take your call. He has affected to render the military independent of and superior to civil power. For quartering, oh my goodness, quartering large bodies of armed troops among us. Does that not sound like the Chattanooga Police Department? For protecting them by a mock trial from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states. Does that not sound like people who they're killing and beating and raping? See, again, the Constitution is very, very clear that we're never supposed to have standing armies or standing troops who do not serve at the will of the people. Lord have mercy. And then to go as far as protecting them by a mock trial, a fake trial from punishment for any of the murders that they commit on the inhabitants of these states, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for depriving us, in many cases, the benefit of a trial by jury. How many people don't even make it to a trial because they are manipulated, miseducated? They don't understand that their rights is that it is the burden of the state to prove any crime that they have been charged with, and that they have a right to all of the evidence and a jury of their peers. And to this, oh man, y'all don't want to play with me. For transporting us beyond seas to be tried in pretended offices. For taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our government. for suspending our own legislatures and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever. He has plundered our seas. Let me make this 2019. He has gentrified our neighborhoods, ravaged our streets, burned up any chance that we ever had to be a good city, and destroyed the lives of our people. Does that not sound like little gentrified Burke? I'm sorry. So we can keep reading, but the purpose of this is for folks to understand. And anytime people get sick and tired of being sick and tired and decide to do something different, and if we want to tear this government down with our own hands, it is our right. It is our right. It is our constitutional, biblical, human right. It is our right. We are not subject to anyone. We were never supposed to be. The whole purpose of this is not only people saying that we need to have this government because, but explaining why. And if you read through this, it is a list of crimes that are very relevant to our time right now. And the sad part is for people in power, they swear. They take an oath. Just like a doctor takes an oath before he or she practices on you. Nurses take an oath. Lawyers take an oath. You know, these folks that we elect, they take an oath to do right by the people and to uphold our state and our federal constitution to ensure that any decision that they make never infringes on the right of the people or promotes any form of tyranny over the people, because we've already been through this before. And so we've gotten so sick and tired. You know, the real is I haven't seen change from Democrats to Republicans. I haven't. Andy Burke is a Democrat, and he has absolutely allowed anything and everything to happen in this city. Millions of dollars to be mismanaged, or I consider stolen from the taxpayers. He's allowed police abuse of power and the people. He has promoted redlining to steal people's land. Oh, come on. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Talk to the people.
Marie, I want to congratulate you.
Yes, sir.
Your reading of the Declaration and your understanding of that Declaration is superb.
Thank you.
What you're reading there from the crimes of the king is exactly why our government created and guaranteed us a constitutional republic form of government. Those crimes that were committed by the king were considered a democracy. And that's why we have the problems today that we have. We live under a democracy. You hear it every day. Every day. They're spurring that people are trying to destroy our democracy. What you're reading there is why we've had a constitutional republic guaranteed to us. Thank you for the truth that you're reading.
Yes, sir. That's my job. And most people don't know that our government is a constitutional republic, which has its powers that are derived from the people. And the reason for that is so the people are never left powerless. And now we have all of these entities and these offices that are being formulated to try to deter the people from the rights that they have been secured. So we have decided, because we're sick and tired, we haven't seen change from Republicans to Democrats. To me, they're one and the same. Just they have very small differences as far as party. But to me, they are the same. And when you look at these folks, as much as they pretend like they don't like one another and they're not for one another, Burke is just as much a friend of Bob Corker as Bob Corker is a friend of Burke. And all of these folks, they're in bed with one another. They love one another. Well, they should love one another, but I don't mean that kind of love. They love one another. That is not agape love. Some of them is Eros, Storgia. Yeah, they love one another as long as they can get something out of one another. They love one another, but they're not for the people. They're not for the people. That's why you only had one council person that voted against the M1 scheduling of Harriet Tubman, because the majority, a mob rule, a democracy, stand against the will of the people. For the people said we didn't want M1 scheduling. And anybody who voted yes for Harriet Tubman to have M1 scheduling voted against the people who have the power that they let you borrow for just a little while. Caller, you're going to have to call back because we're getting ready to end this first part of the segment. So give me a call back in about 5 minutes. Give me a call back in about 5 minutes. Stay tuned for the second half of the segment, family. And we're going to continue to talk about why we need to start exiting these systems and these forms that we have right now, because they're not really serving us. The Democratic Party ain't going to save us, and neither is the Republican Party. Look at what both of them are doing with the country. The country is in disarray. So is the city. It's time for us to fire all these folks and start from scratch. Stay tuned for the second half of the segment.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Tennessee lawmaker Jason Potts calling for harsher penalties for drivers who pass school buses. WTDC reports several bus drivers have complained of drivers speeding past them while they're unloading kids from the bus. The county commission is considering adding cameras to the stop arm of buses so they can catch illegal passers. Newly inaugurated Tennessee Governor Bill Lee asking state agencies to look at the potential impact of the partial government shutdown. Lee is looking at mapping out the potential 2% budget cuts that may be needed if the feds keep things shut down much longer. And a University of Georgia grad getting some criticism for comments he wrote on Facebook. Aramio Seyframpong is employed by the university as a teacher's assistant. Some critics believe he crossed the line when he made a post stating some white people may have to die for black communities to be made whole. University leaders say they're consulting the Attorney General on what actions they can take. Val St. John for Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News Now.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
If an uncertain economy and runaway stock market is making you think twice about how and where to invest, you may need some professional help. Talk to a local husband and wife team who have seen it all. Ron and Christy Adams with One Family Financial. The Adams have helped clients navigate through bull markets, bear markets, recessions, bubbles, and booms. And they have the experience to put your assets to work for you while minimizing risk. Find out how Ron and Christy can keep you on track for a long, happy, worry-free retirement. 423-710-2009 or go to onefamilyfinancial.com.
The first responders. These are the men and women who put themselves in harm's way for us. And here at Nooga Radio, we want to do our part to say thank you. On Nooga Radio, every Friday is First Responder Friday. We'll honor a first responder with a thank you gift from Nooga Radio's community partners. Is there a first responder you'd like us to honor? Go to NoogaRadio.com and submit your nomination. First Responder Friday, sponsored by Doug Yates Towing and Recovery, Mad Philly Sandwich Shop, New York Pizza Department, Revive Massage Therapy, and Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7.
Space, the final frontier.
Whether it's a man cave, she shed her office, L&K Buildings and Trailer Sales has your space. The perfect portable building just for you. L&K Buildings and Trailer Sales is a premier building authorized dealer. You tired of paying high storage fees, lack of security, and not having easy access to your stuff? Then L&K has the building just for you. Or if you're looking for a mini home or the perfect hunting cabin, L&K has the building that will convert perfectly. Free delivery up to 50 miles. No credit checks and low monthly payments. Call L&K today at 706-858-0077. 706-858-0077. On Facebook, search L&K Buildings and Trailer Sales. 3532 Lakeview Drive, Rossville, Georgia. L&K's featured storage unit this month is a center cabin 12x32, featuring 15% off. L&K Buildings and Trailer Sales. Call 706-858-0077.
Whether you have marginal, moderate, or even extensive hair loss, you don't have to live with it. Finally, there's a procedure that becomes a part of you, and it requires no daily maintenance or special care. Let Apollo Hair Systems give you a free hair and scalp analysis today. Call 423-803-1011 and schedule this free evaluation today. Open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Apollo Hair Systems, 5512 Ringgold Road in Chattanooga. 423-803-1011 for Apollo Hair Systems.
By now, you'd normally hear a kicker intro bed and me telling you why you need to buy a car or truck. This is not that ad. I want to share with you the great experience that we've had at Z Motors. When Nuga Radio was looking for a Hummer, I went to Z Motors. They have over 100 vehicles on the lot, and Phil was happy to spend all the time necessary with me, point me in the right direction. If you're looking for a Jeep Wrangler, hey, you'll find more Jeep Wranglers there than anywhere in Chattanooga. Pre-owned cars, a slew of Audis, BMWs, from a 1934 Ford truck to a 2017 Volt, a Volkswagen Jetta, and a 2018 Tundra. Plus, they can find any vehicle you're looking for. You're not going to find a big fancy showroom. See, those costs at the big dealerships are added to your purchase price. You want to call Philip at 423-240-8869. That's 240-8869. On Facebook, just search Philip Clark Sales Manager for Z Motors. It's Philip Clark, Sales Manager for Z Motors. Z Motors. They're right on the corner of Hickory Valley and Shallowford Road, in front of Chattanooga Wine and Spirits. And don't forget to say hi to Rhonda, the pretty McCall at the front desk.
Where can you find exotic surroundings, fine dining, and a taste of Italy tucked away in Chattanooga? On Highway 58, you'll find Portobello's. They serve up food just like Mama used to make, but without the extra helping of guilt. Portobello's has fresh homemade pasta and signature dishes sure to please, bringing you back for more. Just like Mama, the folks at Portobello's are always happy to see you and always happy to meet your friends. Call ahead for delicious takeout or just show up for their amazing Portobello's menu. Portobello'sChattanooga.com, Chattanooga's home for the finest Italian food.
Expect cloudy skies and scattered showers to start out your Wednesday. A little milder out there, breezy, two highs, lower 50s with areas of heavier rain pushing in later on. Tonight, rain diminishing late, lows colder into the lower 30s. For Thursday, breezy, chilly, highs, lower 40s, even colder Friday. Get ready for the next cold surge with Dodge City Ski Shop, featuring the largest selection of cold weather clothing around. From infants to adults, head to toe, they have it at Dodge City, East Brainerd Road, Chattanooga. And I'm Storm Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Pat Report.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Yeah. People don't believe me, and that's okay. That's okay, because the beautiful thing is that my grandmother said, life is a great teacher. And often some of the things that I've said have just come to pass, and I just sit back and sometimes I laugh. But you guys know that Democrats and Republicans, these parties are not original to the institution of our government. You know, Abraham Lincoln, before he became a Republican, he was part of the Whig Party. There have been political parties that have risen and fallen in the course of our history. And maybe it's time to let the Democratic and the Republican Party die. 423-800-8949 if you want to call and talk to me. But maybe it's time to let both of these raggedy, ridiculous, divisive, incestuous, come on. People need to stop acting like there is a difference between Democrat and Republican. There is not. I'm telling you. And my mentor said this, and I thought about it all yesterday, and he's probably right. He said, Marie, I can almost guarantee you, Donald Trump and Nancy Pelosi and the rest of them, they're up there acting like, okay, you know, we got the American people on the ropes. Let's not act like people are not this petty. We got the American people on the ropes. If we continue this divisiveness, you know, we're going to sell papers. We can further our political agendas. You know, we can make it seem like we being tough on this, and we can hold them hostage just a little bit longer. We can continue to be in the headlines. Come on, man. And I had to think about that. Like, I can really see that happening. Like, the majority of these folks, they're not interested in doing things that's right. They're not. I can only be real. Folks been already, since Kamala Harris decided to hijack Martin Luther King Jr. Day, she decides to announce her bid for the presidency. What? You mean Kamala Harris, that's for private prisons? You want to run for president? It's time for us to give up our blind loyalties to these parties. The truth of the matter is that if folks are not sitting down with you and they have a clear and concise plan, not only to do things within their own power, but then they don't have a clear and concise plan of how they're going to collaborate with other people in government, because they know no one man should have all that power. That's Kanye West when he actually used to have a brain. No one man should have all that power. No one person has all that power. And so even people who think that they can get in politics and do things within their own power is nuts. It's absolutely insane. It's insane. And the truth of the matter is the reason why we got to go back and read things like the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the state constitution. We do have to read books about why these governments formed. Why has this information been lost over the course of 120 years, 150 years? And what has been the outcome of us deviating from these forms of government? Because the truth of the matter is, to be in 2019, there have been kingdoms that have risen and fallen, kingdoms that have been successful, that have done this, that have done that. All we got to do is look back in history. We can see what works and we can see what doesn't. It ain't, to me, it's just not hard. It's just not hard. We make it difficult. But we got to stop with the blind loyalty. If folks cannot outline a plan, not hopes and dreams, but a plan, and then prove how it's going to work and how they're going to build an avenue with other people to make these things work, then family, we're just buying into hopes and dreams and effectively just elevating people to positions of power. So we hope and dream that maybe some crumbs will fall from the master's table. And I'm tired of living life like that. Are you? Are you? You know, there's this old saying, it's time to clean house. Same. It's time to clean house. Because it's no different. We had white and black people, female and male, Republican and Democrat, both vote against the people when East Chattanooga said that we needed mixed use for Harriet Tubman. That we wanted housing, but we also wanted the ability to have jobs as far as like commercial buildings, like we needed mixed use. And everything that we asked for was completely ignored. Completely ignored. And then voted on while we were celebrating Martin Luther King Celebration Week. They didn't even have the courtesy to defer the meeting or to defer the vote on that until the following week or 2 weeks later. Good morning. Talk to the people.
Hey, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Barely hear you. When you say mixed use, are you talking about apartments and places to buy food too? I don't understand how come the developers can't get this into their thick head. When you build apartments, people are going to need to buy food, and you can't put a damn grocery store any place in the area, creating food deserts intentionally. What the hell is up with that?
Well, what's up with that is that our city council allows these things to happen because they favor developers over people.
Well, you know they love each other. I mean, they blackmail each other. I mean, they exploit. I don't know what word I'm looking for there, but I bet you most of those fit.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
I ain't lying. Why would I have anything to lie about? All you have to do is open your eyes, people, and look around. You can see all the garbage that these developers are producing. And where do they stick that garbage? Well, they stick it in our drinking water. That's where, and they muddy up everything so everybody kicks the bucket 20 years early. Hey, we know what the hell's going on, and it's about time they stopped it. Otherwise, we're going to stop it ourselves.
That's right. Thank you so much for your comments. And that's what we're doing. So we have decided to form the Justice Party. And we met on this during Martin Luther King Celebration Week, which was last week. And so we're going to be going around. All we need is, you see, it's so simple. It really is. All you need is 3,000 signatures. 2.5% of the votes that were cast for the gubernatorial election, which is a little over 3,000, about 3,300 votes, or excuse me, 3,300 signatures. Well, in a city that has almost 200,000 people, getting 3,000 signatures from registered voters is not hard. You know, and the funny thing is actually people are so uninspired by Democrats and Republicans alike in this city that almost over 80% of our city does not vote. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. People are so uninspired. We're so tired of the crap because we know that we're not going to get a difference between the Democrats or the Republican. They're all in bed with one another. You know, they're all friends. Oh man, here goes the man Christopher Dahl. Man, I've been missing him. Chris, what's going on, man? I miss you. Are you there?
Yeah, I was going to mention before the last caller, you had stated something about how our tax dollars have been going to private interest.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's one of the things that I believe have gotten us in the affordable housing crunch. You know, if you can look back all the way to the 70s and see that block grant funding, federal block grant funding has not gone to what it's supposed to have gone for, and that's affordable housing. You know, so they play on people's beliefs, get us to you know, feed into what they want or their agenda so they can pass more public tax dollars to private entities.
You're right. You know, you're absolutely right. But, you know, and one of the things that we experienced this year was like the census tracts, because we had money that went to census tracts, that they scam people out of the process, that they put downtown areas in the census tract to receive money that was supposed to go to low income parts of the census tract within the city. So people even use the system against us. That's why I say when people don't play fair and they don't fight fair, I mean it. They play this game dirty. If businesses can't make money, they go broke. Who is going to build a grocery store that does not show a profit? Sir, if people are begging, if a whole section of a city is begging for a grocery store, I'm pretty sure that means that they would support it and patronize it. The problem is that nobody encourages development unless that means Black people are being moved out of their neighborhoods. So I would shop in a grocery store that is in East Chattanooga, and the people have been asking for it. East Chattanooga is a very large area. As a matter of fact, it's so large, it's divided between 2 districts. East Chattanooga is a corridor for almost the entire city. So I really don't understand that comment, because people have been asking for a grocery store because they don't want to take the bus and go 20 minutes out of their way. If I want to spend $6 just taking a bus trip, and then I can only carry so many groceries with me, of course I want a grocery in my neighborhood. Of course I'm going to patronize it. So that makes no sense. That makes no sense. Oh, it's going to have a profit because there's no competitors. As a matter of fact, building a grocery store in East Chattanooga and in the South Side would be the best thing to do because there's nobody to compete with you. You know, putting a grocery store on South Broad when you can go 5 minutes down the road and see another Publix and Whole Foods. It's utterly absurd when it's people living in neighborhoods that don't have a grocery store, that are having to travel to even buy food. That's ridiculous. You will have no competition. As a matter of fact, see, got to educate people, got to help people. So don't get offended, Mr. Workman, if you're still listening. East Chattanooga has a building that could be purchased if anybody wants to actually start a grocery store, because it used to be a grocery store a very long time ago. So if you're interested in doing that, they had a sign for rent or for purchase. Bring a grocery store or a co-op. I'm sure people wouldn't care either way it goes. But I know people would like to patronize it. And it's a lot of traffic that comes through East Chattanooga. So you wouldn't just get people who are in the neighborhood. You would get people coming from Amnicola, people coming from Highway 58, people coming from downtown. So just had to address that there. But anyway, back on subject, the Justice Party. This is a people's party. This is not a political dynasty. None of that. None of that. You know, none of that. Oh, my daddy was a rich businessman, and I've been in state legislature, and I helped steal money there, and so now I get to be mayor and steal money here too. No more. We're not going to win playing the same way. It's time to switch it up. You know what I mean? So this is why we are starting an independent political party. It's because we know that neither the Republican or the Democratic Party has served the will of the people. And that is a matter of facts. If you vote against what the people are asking for, family, that's tyranny. I don't know what else to call that. But nobody has a right to impose their will on people and in people's neighborhoods. So if we're asking for a grocery store, because at the end of the day, we have put taxes into this government. So a city doesn't run without taxes. So people take our money. And so it's only a natural expectation that we want to see that money reinvested back into the neighborhood. That's the whole point in having representative government, meaning that we send people to offices of power to figure it out. That's not the people's job. We don't get paid to figure this stuff out. We shouldn't have to. If you have the audacity to run, guess what? You should have figured this out. And according to what I've heard from former representatives, when this council started, you used to spend 3 months taking classes so you could understand the job. Now we just have people signing up, and if they win, they can come in here and they don't know what the hell they're doing. They can just make all kinds of choices. And then when the city gets run into the ground, then people standing around pointing their fingers at the people. It makes no sense. James Workman, I really don't understand what you're saying. I really don't. Neighborhood grocery stores and co-ops and all sorts of kind of things are nothing new. And so if all you can give are excuses of why it can't happen in certain neighborhoods, that you don't even understand the layout, I don't know what to say. Just don't know what to say. But at the end of the day, if I go into neighborhoods and I see that they have too many grocery stores and my neighborhood doesn't even have one, family, I don't know what to call that. What form of justice do you consider that? That people are living in neighborhoods that don't have access to medicine, food, and clean water. What kind of justice is that? Anyways, so family, 2020 is going to be here before you know it. This year is, shucks, we're almost at the end of January already. It's the 23rd. This year is going to fly by. And a lot of people, they're going to start tap dancing and trying to get people on their side because they want to keep their seats. And some of them, they have aspirations of becoming mayor or becoming a senator or moving to state legislature. And family, if they're abusing people in the small positions that they have, it will be insane. I mean, absolutely insane for us to send these people and give them more power to abuse us. Absolutely. Go look at the clip of Reverend Barber and Governor Lee. Man, when I say I woke up this morning, and shout out to Margaret for sharing that this morning. When I say I got up in my seat, it's funny that people want to talk about they love Dr. King, but don't support his poor people's campaign and his mission. How would you build a wall and say that you love Dr. King? It makes no sense. Love doesn't make you build walls. Love makes you tear down walls. And one of the things that I had a discussion with my mentor who was firmly for the wall, I said, I remember, because I was born in 1988. I remember seeing videos as a small child of the wall in Germany being torn down. And how the people, I saw people crying and people taking bricks. So I'm sure, right, they could remember. We can't ever build can't ever build walls in between people. That's not what we're here to do. And I say, you know, what type of Christian or even just good person, even if you're not a Christian, if you're just spiritual, what type of spiritual person builds walls to separate people that would deter people living in some of the most ugliest conditions? And I'm not saying that they don't need to apply to become a citizen, or they don't have to do it the right way. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that if our goal is to deter people, and I just got to frankly say it, if we didn't mind welcoming people from all over Europe at one point, why is it now because these are people of color, now we want to build walls, and it's a problem, and now we're worried about our country? Nobody seemed to be worried about welcoming all of the people from Scotland and Ireland and Russia and Europe, every corner of Europe that wanted to come to America because there was opportunity here beyond their home. Nobody built a wall. Nobody did that. We didn't do that. We let you come. Sign your name in Ellis Island and come here. So, family, the foolishness that I'm seeing just boggles my mind, how anybody could be a part of this. And I think a lot of people are just disgusted with our political parties for the both of them. You know, between Trump, Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, Mitch McConnell, all of them, they're no different. They're no different. Our country is in the worst predicaments. Our states, our educational system, it's in the worst conditions that it's ever been in. And I mean, we've had time periods where we were facing nuclear disaster and people weren't this worried. Good morning. Talk to the people.
Yeah, good morning. Marie?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just had one comment.
Yes, sir.
About Martin Luther King, which I think was very, he had it together. And his content of character statement, I wonder what he meant by that. And sometimes I'm rethinking that, what does that really mean?
Content of character?
I mean, it goes across a lot of things, but what does that really mean?
It means I would say he means our morality, our soul. Do we have any morals anymore? Do we love people? You know, and the word says it's impossible to love a God you never seen if you don't love people. And when you love people, you take care of them, you look after them, you protect them, you stand for their rights. And if we're living in a world and we're not fixing our problems, and all we're doing is just continuously staying at each other's necks, then we're never going to get anywhere. Y'all know what it is. Filling in for Big Mouth, Loud Mouth, Hollering Mike. Y'all know what it is. Someone is taking the time today to tell you that they love you. I love you guys. And guess what? There's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. I'll see you guys back tomorrow on the Marie Mott Show. Love you all.
3, 2, 1. Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news. Now,
Chattanooga City Council members addressed the beating of Frederico Wolf at the hands of a Chattanooga police officer. Nooga Radio's Marie Mott was there.
Councilman Gilbert called for sensitivity training, the changing of laws and ordinances, as well as an independent investigation into the particular beating of Mr. Wolf. Councilwoman Coonrod had a difference of opinion and called for the immediate firing of this officer.
TBI announced it's looking for a third suspect in the slaying of Jacob Moore, whose skeletal remains were discovered by hunters in the woods near Benton Mountain, very close to property owned by a relative of a suspect in that case. TBI's Blake Ketron announced they're looking for Willie Boyd on charges of first-degree murder. 2 men were arrested by the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office after a chase through Soddy Daisy. Reports say that the driver tried to evade a traffic stop and tried to escape on foot. 2 suspects arrested. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Expect cloudy skies and scattered showers to start out your Wednesday. A little milder out there. Breezy 2 highs, lower 50s with areas of heavier rain pushing in later on. Tonight, rain diminishing late, lows colder into the lower 30s. For Thursday, breezy, chilly highs, lower 40s, even colder Friday. Get ready for the next cold surge with